Welcome back to Sports Hop. You already know what time it is. It's your boy, Mack B. I'm back at it, back in the building, episode 59. Man, how time flies. And everybody watching the show, please hit the subscribe button. We appreciate all the love and support here at Sports Hop. I got another guest for you today. Coming back at it on the show again, my player partner, Rashad, is in the building.
What's up, man? What's up?
What's up, player? Yeah. How we doing?
Good. Hey, man, we doing good, man. Blessings always.
Yeah.
God is good.
Yeah.
God is good.
You back on the couch in less than 2 weeks, man. We doing something right.
Hey, man, we got to keep this going.
I got you, man. I got you. We appreciate all the love. We're going to dive right in. We got a lot to cover today. We are going to start in New York because that apple was rotten last night in New York with the Knicks. Classic choke job in New York. I mean, it was reminiscent of the Reggie Miller situation, right? With Halliburton doing the same thing. I'm like, the Knicks, what is wrong with you? I mean, Tom Thibodeau, what is wrong with y'all, man? 17-point lead with 6 minutes and 48 seconds left in the game. You're up by 17. And then even at the 2 minute and 45 second mark, the Knicks had a 14-point lead. Mm-hmm. And the Pacers, literally, that's a perfect name for that team because they don't stop.
Yep.
They just will outrun you. They will outgun you. Mm-hmm. I mean, they spread the floor. And shout out to Aaron Naismith. 20 points in the fourth quarter, Rashad. I love what he did. I love Halliburton with that shot at the end. I mean, you can't make this up. How many times you see a shot? I thought it was a game winner, right? But I guess his toe was on the line to send it into overtime. But how many times when the game's on the line, you see a ball hit the back iron of the rim and just bounce straight up in the air and drop? Have you seen that happen?
No.
I'm still trying to figure out how I seen that.
They call that shooter's luck. You know what I'm saying? When you a pure shooter, bro, stuff like that falls.
Yeah, well, Halliburton has been stepping up big time. I mean, he hit the winning layup against the Bucks to advance. I mean, we all know what he did to Cleveland and the Cavs, you know, hitting that game winner in game 2, I believe. Yep. And so, and he went into the paint, didn't attempt the shot there to tie it. He came right back out, dribbled back out, on the 3-point line and put it up and ended up being a tying basket. Mm-hmm. But, you know, shout out to the Pacers. I'm really concerned with the Knicks. Everybody says, oh, well, this is just only one game, right? Think about the psychological ramifications of this loss. I mean, that's a devastating loss for the Knicks.
In New York.
Not only that, I mean, they couldn't close. We were just talking about that with somebody in particular, right? They couldn't close. You know, they had some chances in the end at the free throw line. Karl Anthony Towns, Big Cat made 1 out of 2. Right. OG Anunoby also missed a free throw, which left the door open for the Pacers. But I got to give Indiana love, man. I mean, everybody's sleeping on this team. And I'm not going to front. During the regular season, even like since the All-Star break, Indiana's like top 3 in the league in terms of their record. Mm-hmm. They got one of the best records in the NBA. And I kind of took them for granted until the postseason came.
Right.
Because when they beat the first round against the Bucks and then they played Cleveland, everybody was on the Cleveland bandwagon, right?
I know I was.
Okay, well, that wagon wheel fell off. Okay,
right. Big time.
Because they won 4 games to 1, but I thought about that. I'm like, this is a bad matchup for Cleveland because Indiana's got a lot of shooters and they got a lot of depth coming off the bench.
Right.
But Naismith, I mean, that guy is lethal.
He balled out.
I mean, he was in a zone. I don't know if you watched the game or not.
I did.
I mean, he had 7 threes or 8 threes, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Ended up with 30 points. He couldn't miss. I think he had 7 consecutive threes in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And you would think the Knicks would like get up. You got when the guy is cooking like that and he's a shooter, you got to get in his face. You can't be just nonchalantly doing this.
Right.
And he's rising up over you. You just doing this like, what are you doing? You washing some windows or what you got
wax on, wax off.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just crazy, man. But Reggie Miller was calling the game.
Oh,
and remember what happened 35 years prior.
History repeating itself. And
I'm like,
you get Halliburton just channeling his inner Reggie Miller. And it like the fact that history literally repeated itself in that game was just it was just amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana, I really like their depth. And you know, you've got Nembhard, you've got Naismith, you've got Halliburton, you got Miles Turner. They do got some length inside. Right. And if the Knicks lose game 2,
oh, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. like a Christmas gift. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. But Mac, I will say this. A couple weeks ago, I did say I have Indy and Minnesota in the finals.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
That's my finals pick. But we're going to see what Minnesota's going to do. They have to respond.
Yeah, they got to respond
as well. But right now, that's my finals pick, Indy and Minnesota.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is New York went on a run when Jalen Brunson got that 5th foul and had to sit down. The Knicks extended the lead, and then Brunson came back in the game. There was a couple of costly turnovers late. As great as Jalen Brunson is, he had 43 points. I think he had 7 turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. But I can't call the brother out because he's big time. He can play with the best of them. But I'm concerned for the Knicks. Big market. I know the NBA and everybody wants New York in the finals, especially for the ratings. Big market team. But Indiana right now, I mean, they've gotten my respect. They're actually, they thrive off of being in a bad spot.
Oh, yeah.
They actually play better when they're backed into a corner. Have you noticed that?
Yes. And honestly, that's how it's always been in Indy.
Right?
Even during the Reggie Miller days, it's always been like that. That's why I love this series so much, because it gives me late 90s, early 2000s
those vibes.
You feel me? So like I that's why I'm infatuated with this series.
Yeah. And it would be interesting too, I think personally, based on what I've seen.
Right.
Small sample size, right? There's only been one game in the East and Western Conference, in the Western Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. OKC's up 1-0. I think OKC is going to advance, and I think the Pacers are going to play the Thunder.
Really?
I never saw that coming.
Right.
Especially months ago.
I don't think.
I did predict on this show 5 months ago that I thought the Thunder would be the team to get to the NBA Finals but lose to Boston. That's what I thought.
Right.
But I did predict them coming out of the West. And then a couple weeks ago, I laid an egg because I got excited because I thought the Nuggets and the Knicks were going to go. I was like, Denver had a 2-1 lead on OKC, and the Thunder said, hold up, let's pump the brakes. We know who we are. We may be young, but we love to have fun and get the job done, right? So shout out to the Thunder, what they're doing over there in OKC. And the Pacers are really, they may be a team of destiny.
Right.
Now, if they make it and they beat the Knicks and OKC advances, do they have enough horses?
Oh, for OKC?
To beat OKC?
Yes, they do. Oh,
you think they can?
Yeah. If that happens, I'm taking Indy to win the finals.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Indy.
Yeah. Okay. You rolling with the dog. Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Indy to win the whole thing if that happens, for sure.
We're going to see how it plays out. But speaking of OKC, we're going to go ahead and pivot to Shai Gilgeous Alexander. Shout out to him.
Yep.
Winning the MVP. He got 71 out of 100 votes. Shout out to him and congratulations to Shai Gilgeous Alexander. Great player. There's been a lot of chatter throughout the course of the year. Him and Jokic were pretty much going back and forth. Nikola Jokic, I believe, has already had 3 MVP titles.
Right.
I'm going to keep it real, though. I can't front. I love Shai Gilgeous Alexander's game, but I think the Joker, if there's any year that he should deserve the MVP, it is now.
I hear you.
I'm going to tell you why. The man averaged a triple-double.
Yeah.
Okay. 29 points, 12 boards a game, 10.2 assists.
Right.
I mean, and he had less to work with in Denver.
Right.
That roster was not loaded like OKC.
Right.
So, again, I'm not hating on Alexander. The brother can ball.
Award, though, man.
No. I understand. But I'm giving you numbers that Jokic averaged during the regular season.
I hear you.
29 points, 12 rebounds, 10.2 assists per game. Okay, Gilgeous Alexander had 32.7 points per game, 5 boards, and 6.4 assists. Okay, he put up some good numbers too. A lot of his game was predicated at the free throw line.
Right.
And kudos to him. I'm not hating. He would get in the paint, draw the foul, on the outside, stretch the floor, draw a lot of fouls. Right. He scored a lot at the line.
He did.
Jokic really, I think, earned his buckets more. Yeah. Because he was inside. Granted, he plays a different position, but I still, but we haven't seen a big man with that kind of footwork and can only jump this high off the ground, right? But still have the footwork and then have the accuracy from the outside. So Nikola Jokic, I have yet to meet you. I want you on this show. I'm putting it in the air. I'm manifesting the moment.
Manifest that.
I love your game and much respect to him. He's just a class act because these regular season awards don't mean anything to him.
Right.
He just wants to get the trophy.
Right. And that's how it should be.
The Larry O'Brien.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Playoff.
Yeah. So I know you're going to go the other way on me now because I know you think Gilgeous Alexander deserved the MVP.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Now, tell me why. I gave you my explanation of why I think the Joker, because in Denver, realistically, he had less to work with, which is not Oklahoma City's fault.
Right.
But talent-wise, if you look at both rosters, OKC is more loaded than Denver, particularly people coming off the bench.
They are.
So Jokic had less to work with. Okay, they both had a tough schedule.
They did.
But when I look at what he did, averaging a triple-double, this was actually one of his best years statistically, and he didn't win the MVP. So what is your logic behind Alexander getting it over Jokic?
Well, SGA changed the entire culture of the Thunder. Let's be real.
Facts.
And my thing with SGA is he put up crazy numbers last year. A lot of people thought he would win it last year, and he didn't, and Joker won it. So for me, my thing is, to be honest with you, if you really want to be honest, you can give it to Joker every year if you really truly want to be honest.
He's that great of a player.
He's that great of a player. So my thing is, but with SGA and the number one seed back-to-back years, bro. They had the number one seed back-to-back years.
Yeah.
And SGA was a huge part of that success.
Absolutely.
And obviously they went head-to-head. The Thunder got the best of the Nuggets, and they moved on or whatever. But my thing is, SGA is his time. It's this young kid's time, and putting up 32 points a game is crazy in this era.
It is.
Like no matter what era you're in, putting up 32 points, that almost give me Iverson vibes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And the Thunder they're still eating off of that Paul George trade. Because, a lot of people don't forget. Remember, Shai Gilgeous Alexander was once a Clipper. And y'all let him go.
Right.
What did it do for you, Los Angeles? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Because Paul George is gone. Kawhi can't stay healthy. Props to him this year. He had a better year. But, I mean, they still have a couple of number one picks. So the Thunder are the team of the future. I called it. Because you got Holmgren over there. You got both Jalen Williams.
Yep.
They can ball out. I mean, you got Caruso.
Yep.
I mean, I think the Thunder are poised. And I think, honestly, I think the Thunder are going to win it all. And
I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, especially because Boston got bounced out. I know there's still a lot of basketball left to play, and I can't rule out Minnesota coming back. But shout out to Shai Gilgeous Alexander. Congratulations on winning the award, your first. He was really emotional at that press conference. Gave all the love to his girl.
Right.
He was really emotionally attached in that moment. So much respect to the Thunder organization, Shai Gilgeous Alexander. Shout out to Jokic. Nicola, I know you'll be back. I still think you deserve the MVP this year, but I'm not hating. It's all love in Oklahoma City. We're going to see how it plays out with them in that series versus the Timberwolves. I think if the Wolves go down 2-0, I think it's a wrap.
I think so too. And this is, speaking about OKC, this is their window. They've opened their championship window. They have about, I think, within the next 3 to 4 years window to really cash in and possibly win multiple titles if they can get to the finals.
Yeah, facts. We'll see how it plays out. We're going to move on. We're going to hop to the NFL meetings. Big controversy, a lot of arguing, a lot of animosity through my sources and everybody else who's been, tapping in. The owners, the owners were clashing, and a lot of people were upset over the tush push.
Right.
The Packers were actually the team, your team, by the way, that had tried to propose to ban that.
Right.
Okay. I know there's a backstory to that. Yes. We won't let the cat out of the bag. It's meowing kind of heavy right now.
Right.
But there was a lot of friction and tension in terms of should that be allowed. Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie gave a passionate speech. I think it was over an hour long, just telling everybody why they should keep the tush push in play. It's been a huge benefit to the Philadelphia Eagles, and I can't be mad at them. They've mastered it. It works literally, I say 99.9% of the time when they need a yard or an inch. and you got Jalen Hurts under center. It's working. So the way I see it is, I don't see why it's a problem for any other team in the league. If you don't like it, I mean, implement it in your own offense. If you got a quarterback that's athletic enough and you got an offensive line and a good runner in the backfield to help facilitate it, why not?
Right.
What's the big deal? I don't understand why you would want to ban it anyway. They needed 75% of the vote. They fell 2 votes short. They got 22 out of 24 votes. So I don't know what the big deal is, but I know that the room was kind of hot and heavy and there was a lot of tension in there. What are your thoughts on that situation?
My thing is I didn't care either way. I'm a diehard Packer fan, been a Packer fan since I was a kid. But I didn't care either way.
Yeah.
If a certain team is having success with a certain play, stop it. Regardless, stop it. Find a way to stop it. And I don't think it's a non-football play like people were trying to argue. And even though majority of the league almost voted it out, and they sided with the Packers, I still don't think. I think regardless, it's just keep the play in the league. I don't care either way. But like we did talk about off air, there's a backstory to that, right? Yeah. With the Packers being at the forefront because they don't have an owner, there's a backstory to that. So my thing is they took the heat, obviously, because Green Bay, that's just how they operate. Yeah. They don't care about taking the heat. They could care less. They don't even care what their fans think, what their own fans think. Yeah. So they could really care about what the media thinks. But it didn't get passed, which I'm happy about because we play the Eagles November 10th in Green Bay. So I will.
Day after my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
We might have to plan a little something, man.
I will be licking my chops for that one. I'm excited for that one. I got a few bets going around already with a couple of friends of mine that are Eagle fans. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, the Eagle media, Philly media is going crazy, trolling the Packers and stuff right now. But we're going to see who's trolling who after November 10th. So.
Well, last time I checked, Rashad, and everybody watching the show, by the way, a football play is defined as players being on the field, lining up. There's something called a football. I think it's right here.
Right.
So a football play, you got this object called a football. Right. You got a quarterback under center. They're hiking the ball with the offensive line, and then they're moving forward. Yeah. And the other team has to stop them.
Right.
That's the last time I checked. That's what a football play consisted of. So props to the Eagles and props to the Packers.
Yeah.
For even proposing what they proposed. I mean, I didn't think it was going to pass anyway, but I think we can just move on. I mean, the league executives and the owners were butting heads. I think they made a bigger deal out of it than needed to be.
Right.
But I think there may be a little bit of jealousy involved with it.
I think so. I think
there's some haterade that's been sipping in these league meetings.
Big time. And I think it's towards the Eagles.
Yeah.
Big time. And like I said, like we talked about off air, there's a huge backstory to that.
Yes.
And
yes,
it is it's a lot of haterade in the air. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially towards Philly right now. And that's unfortunate, but
Well, one team that won't be doing the tush push because of their quarterback situation and his history of concussion issues is the Miami Dolphins. And my Dolphin maniac partner over here, Solomon, I want you to chime in. And what are your thoughts on the Tush Push controversy? Do you think that the Packers were justified to propose banning it? And what are your thoughts on it didn't pass and moving forward? What do you think of it?
Well, I think anytime, something is perceived to give, a team an advantage, somebody's gonna say something. But I also agree with the reasons that they didn't ban it, and that was because there were no injuries attributed to it. And on top of that, it's not an automatic. And what made Philadelphia was so good at it is because they have a premier offensive line and they got a quarterback who can squat 600 pounds.
Facts.
So, I'm all for it. That is still there.
Okay. Yeah, it is entertaining to watch.
Me too.
Especially around the goal line. For anybody out there that got them prop bets going on Jalen Hurts scoring X amount of touchdowns. I mean, anytime they get inside the 2-yard line, it's a wrap. I'm like, okay, Eagles gonna score.
Score.
I've literally never seen one play where they didn't get it.
Right.
I think it happened maybe once or twice in the history of the Tush Push.
I think we stopped it in the playoffs.
Green Bay did.
Yeah. Once.
Okay.
I think we stopped it one time in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then they went right back to it and they got it. And they converted it. So, I mean, like I said, it is tough to stop that play. And like I said, kudos to them.
They came up with it.
Right. Kudos to them, man. And I'm glad it's still in the game.
Yeah.
You know, so hey, like I said, we'll see y'all November 10th.
Okay.
In Green Bay.
We shall see how it plays out. And speaking of playing out, the 2025 schedule was recently announced. I don't know if we got a screenshot of the Packers or the Chiefs schedule, but either way, we're going to talk about it. We'll start with the Packers first. Green Bay, you know, even when they were limited in that game against the Eagles, that playoff game, you know, Jordan Love didn't have the greatest game.
No.
But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 of your receivers went down.
You had 3 offensive linemen go
limited.
Down.
Right.
Yeah, we were limited.
Yeah.
Big time.
So moving forward with Green Bay, what is your forecast this year in terms of win total? I got them currently, I think they're going to win 11 games.
Okay.
And lose 7.
Okay.
Or 6, excuse me. They play 17 games.
Yeah.
I think the Packers are going 11-6. Well, yeah, we got a schedule up here. Well, that's the preseason, so we'll go ahead and go here. So, that's the entire NFL
so
schedule.
Week 1.
Okay.
Week 1, we open with Detroit. That's our schedule. Week 1, we open with Detroit. I'll be at that game. So.
Okay.
So
you'll be at Lambeau?
Yeah, I'll be at Lambeau week 1, and I'll be at Dallas. That's my birthday month, September.
Okay.
So I'll be at Dallas. I already have tickets for the Dallas game week 4 in Dallas.
Okay, you already turning up, man.
Oh, big time.
I better get an invite, brother. What's
big
happening,
time,
man?
bro. I'm telling you. So
okay, Cincinnati. That's gonna be a
good
game.
one.
Arizona can be sneaky.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Aaron Rodgers should be there though. Hopefully.
Carolina.
Philly's
gonna be tough.
You got
Lions.
Yeah, and then you finish off with a couple NFC North divisional games. Pretty much. Denver.
That Denver game is gonna be hard too.
At Denver.
Denver's no joke.
Denver's defense is no joke.
Oh, and the Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you wrap up with the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that it should be a tough. It's gonna be a tough schedule, but I'm excited, man. We won 11 games last year.
Yeah.
This year, I think my biggest thing. I'm not really worried about win total. My thing is just win the North. We have to take back the North. You know? And in order for us to do that, we have to beat the Lions. And what better way to beat them and start off hot with starting off with them week 1 in Green Bay. So it should be a playoff atmosphere week 1, and it should be a fun game.
Solomon, can we go back to that? Let me look at the first month. We go to week 1 through 4. I just want to take a look here. Okay, so these first 2 games are no joke.
Oh, for sure.
Because you got a rising Commander squad who now has Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Okay, you got the Lions. You open up with them. And you got the Commanders. Those are both home games.
Yep.
So they do have an advantage of playing at Lambeau.
At Lambeau.
But Detroit is still a dangerous
team. For sure.
The Commanders. And then you got Cleveland on the road and Dallas.
At Dallas.
I say worst case scenario, first month of the year for Green Bay, they should go worst case scenario 2-2.
2-2, yeah. 2-2.
They could realistically be 3-1.
Yeah.
I think, I'll be honest with you, I think the Commanders, if any team will go into Lambeau the first month of the season and beat them, I think it's the Commanders. I think that Detroit has a better chance to lose against Green Bay on the road than the Commanders, in my opinion.
I agree with you on that. It's week 1, so that's a divisional. If you can't get up for your divisional rival who's been winning the division the last 2 years, something's wrong. So I totally agree with you on that. And Dallas, that's basically a home game for Green Bay. We own Dallas.
Well, that Lions game realistically is even more important than the Commanders because it's a division game in the division.
Right.
So, down the road in terms of seeding, that could be more important.
Exactly. So,
okay, and then you got Cincinnati, Arizona, Dallas. Yeah. Dallas might as well be a home game.
Right.
It's probably gonna be more Packer fans.
It will be.
Than it will be Cowboys.
It will be.
Pittsburgh, we don't really know what they don't have a quarterback. Yeah. I think once you get through like the middle of the schedule up to week 10, you got the Eagles. I think, Green Bay could be sitting nice.
Yeah.
If they go like 7-2,
or
6-3 that first week, they'll be in good, or that first part of the season. They'll be in good shape.
Yep.
Okay.
But here's the thing though. We always talk about this, Mac. You don't want to be playing your best ball in September and October. You want to be playing your best ball November, mid-November, going into December and January. That's when you really want to be playing your best ball.
Exactly.
You really want to be clicking at on all cylinders, making that playoff push. So that's my biggest thing. Play your best ball late in the year, and show out come playoff time.
Just don't dig yourself
a hole
early on where it's too late to recover, even if you come on late.
Exactly.
So there's got to be like a balance there.
For sure. You feel me? Definitely for sure.
Solomon, can we pull up the Kansas City Chiefs schedule when you have a moment? We're going to take a look at Kansas City and see what they're working with. Now, a lot of people believe this could be the first year because they've won the division 8 consecutive years. Okay. And Kansas City's been dominant. But this could be the first year that the AFC West might shift a little bit. My Broncos might have something to say about this now. I think the Raiders are going to be better. I still think they're a couple years away, but I think they're going to be better. I think the Chargers are going to be sneaky with Harbaugh. But I really like Bo Nix in Denver and what they're doing. And defensively, now that they got a couple of 49ers over there, former 49er players, I think Denver, if they can stay healthy, are going to be viable. But Kansas City opens. They got to go on the road and play the Chargers.
In Brazil.
Oh, that's in Brazil. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. So I can't even consider that really a home game for either team.
Right.
In Brazil.
And they have to go to Philly.
Wow.
Well, they got
Philly at home.
They got Philly at home.
That's still going to be a hard game. Especially coming all the way off the road in Brazil. Good. And then you got the Giants. I'm already chalking that up as a win.
Yeah.
And then the Ravens is not going to be an easy game neither.
Nope.
So they've got a pretty a tough schedule the first couple weeks of the year. Then they go to Jacksonville. They got the Lions coming in. The Raiders always play Kansas City tough.
Yep.
And the Commanders. Okay. That's a Monday Night Football game. That'll be interesting. And then they got to go to Buffalo.
And then
then Denver.
At Denver.
They got to bye, and then they go to Denver. Then they got the Colts.
They get Denver off the bye. Okay.
Yeah, in Denver.
Wow.
Okay. So their schedule, I think, is not as heavy as the Packers. I think Green Bay's got a harder schedule.
But we know, like, and I always say this with schedules, it's forever changing come in the NFL because you don't know who's gonna get hurt.
Right.
You don't know what team is gonna not meet expectations.
Facts.
So that's just how the NFL schedule works. Some of these teams we're looking at might seem grueling at the time, and then once you get in regular season play,
we don't know how they're gonna look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with the strength of schedule argument in the NFL. Yeah. I think that's more so an argument you can have with college football more than you can have with the NFL.
Yeah, but the bottom line is these players get paid a lot of money.
Sure.
Speaking of bottom line, these owners want to get the bag.
Yes, they do.
Part of getting the bag is predicated on winning games,
Facts.
Advancing to the playoffs, and going to the Super Bowl and closing the deal. So at the end of the day, every team's got to play their schedule. We'll see how it plays out. I think that Denver's got the best chance out of any team in the AFC West to knock the Chiefs off in terms of winning the division. I still think Kansas City is going to be a threat. Not as much as in previous years, but I do believe Kansas City, worst case scenario, will land a wild card. I still think they're going to be in the mix.
I think they missed the playoffs completely.
Okay, we're going to see how that plays out.
They missed the playoffs completely, Mac, because for the simple fact that they've been to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. This is not the NBA.
Oh, no, it's not. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl now.
The NFL, bro.
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl loser always has the toughest year to year after.
The hangover.
It's the hangover is real, bro.
Worse than the movie.
Yes, it is real. And they are very fatigued. This is 3 years in a row now. very fatigued.
They got exposed in that Super
Yes,
Bowl
they did.
when Philadelphia dominated the line of scrimmage. I mean, they rattled Mahomes. That was the first time I've ever seen Patrick Mahomes rattle in his career, where I saw fear in his face.
Oh yeah, he was scared.
He was scared.
Every time
he threw 2 picks, got sacked multiple times, had a costly fumble. There was a lot of things that went wrong for Mahomes in Kansas City. And that offensive line, if they don't address that offensive line and they don't get bigger up front, this is just the beginning of the end for Kansas City.
I agree.
Because if you can't protect the quarterback, I don't care how great Mahomes is, because he is great and he can improvise.
Yes.
But if you don't have any offensive line and you don't got protection, especially in the trenches, you're going to be in trouble. Because you got to play Baltimore. You got to play the Cincinnatis, the Buffaloes of the world. Even if you don't see them,
Denver.
even if they don't see them in the regular season, they got to play it. They're going to eventually, if they make the playoffs, they're going to run into some of them. And Denver, too, is a buzzsaw. You know, Denver's got a defensive line that's dominant. They got a good defense. You know, the Chargers are on the ascend.
Just about to say that.
You know, they're ascending. So Kansas City better get it together. Andy Reid and them boys, you got to focus on that offensive line and get Patrick Mahomes some help. And you got to get, I mean, I don't know. They didn't really utilize Pacheco and
right.
You know.
They couldn't. They were down.
There was no time, and they had to throw the football. But I still think that Kansas City needs a bruiser type of back, a bell cow.
Right.
They need like a bell cow, you know.
I think,
and they don't have that.
They don't. But to me, I don't know who I'm picking yet, but I'm picking either Denver or the Chargers to win that division.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you.
So,
and I have all the respect and admiration for the Chiefs. They got a great coach. They got a great quarterback. Kelsey is in the twilight of his career.
Right.
I think he has maybe 1 or 2 more years left. He gonna hang it up.
Right.
You know, him and Taylor gonna start having some babies, man.
Probably.
That's what I'm hearing.
Probably.
Word on the street is okay. And I ain't mad at that decision either, Travis. Get in where you fit in, homie. But we'll see how it plays out. It's gonna be interesting. But shout out to the NFL. 2025 is really only a few months away, Rashad.
It's just crazy, man. This year is.
It's just flying by.
Flying. It's crazy that the season's almost here.
Yeah, wow. It's insane. We're gonna move on. We are headed to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, phenomenal generational talent, lit the league up last year. Her rookie year obviously was the WNBA's choice as Rookie of the Year. Caitlin Clark is balling so far this year. You know, she's putting up some great numbers this season, and I like what she's doing. Her and Angel Reese have this history, right? Yeah. All the way back when Reese was with LSU and Caitlin was in Iowa, and they went at it, you know, for that championship game, and she was kind of mocking her a little bit. So I think there's a little bit of bad blood. Now, hate, that's a real vile term. I don't think there's hate there.
Right.
I think that people perpetuate that and make it bigger than what it is. But
it's like they did in college when they were in college.
Yeah. So, you know, a few days back, you know, when you know, the Fever were dominating against the Sky. I mean, I think they were up by like 20 or 25. You know, Caitlin had an aggressive foul, but it wasn't a flagrant foul.
No.
Let's keep it 100 on this show like we always do. Okay, I got news for y'all watching the show. Caitlin Clark, I love your game. You're a generational talent. Yeah. She deserves all the praise and the accolades that she's achieved, okay? This is not a black and white thing to me.
No.
She's just a great player, okay? The fact that she has sponsors off the court, you know, over $20 million valuation, she earned it. You know, for those who are complaining that have a problem with it, stop sipping the haterade. Give her flowers because she deserved everything that she's done. I mean, the WNBA period, none of the players make a lot of money. I think the average salary is about $77,000, which is not a lot of money if you break it down per game. Caitlin Clark is averaging, I think, $1,950 a game for being a generational talent, the face of the league, breaking records left and right. So a lot of these players, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Plum, and all these other players, you know, even Angel Reese, they all deserve the bag. They all deserve more money. Mm-hmm. But back to the flagrant foul. I thought that was a bad call. Reese really got up and she was pretty hot.
She was.
She said a few obscenities to her, which I won't repeat on the show. But I think it's a bigger deal. They're making it a bigger deal than what it really is, right? Mm-hmm. Because after that, and kind of tempers cooled down, I think they gave each other some dap later on in the game. I didn't watch the game. I just watched the highlight.
Heat of the moment, man.
So you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree. Heat of the moment. She kind of flopped in a sense. I kind of saw Angel just kind of flop, and
she just fouled her on the wrist. It wasn't like she grabbed her or pushed her down.
They was getting their ass kicked, bro.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. And obviously as a competitor, you hate losing.
Yeah.
No matter what, and you getting your butt kicked and talking junk, and of course you heat of the moment, but. Yeah, it wasn't a flagrant foul. I think that was a bogus call. And Angel Reese, she still has some more maturing to do. I believe. She still has some things to work on her game that she needs to work on, and I think she'll be better. She'll be better for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, props to the Fever and the Sky. I think the Fever. They had a good run last year in her rookie campaign, especially towards the end of the year. They were ascending, right? And they made the playoffs. They got bounced out, but I think the Fever, have a legitimate shot this year to go deep into the playoffs. I'm not saying win the title,
right?
Because you still got the Aces you've got the Sun, you've got all these other teams, but I think the Fever are definitely gonna. Be feeling themselves. You feel me?
I think so. I think so.
And making some moves, you know what I mean? And making some big things happen. But she's a showstopper, still breaking records, still bringing in a lot of fans. And anywhere she goes, I mean, I definitely would love to go see her live.
Oh, me too. And she's must-see TV. And still shout out to Angel Reese, man. She's still doing her thing.
She cleans up on the boards.
Man, she's still a generational talent as well. It's just, she just has a little growing to do, and I think she will, bro. I think she will do that.
Yeah. Well, shout out to both players in the entire WNBA. It's good to see that the league is ascending and people are watching. And a big reason for that is players like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Solomon, what are your thoughts on this whole flagrant foul controversy and all the vitriol that people are saying, that they hate each other? Or what are your thoughts on this rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark right now?
Well, I can't speak to the foul because I didn't see the game, but I mean, you have heard all of that, and I think the players know that it's a media story, and the media is constantly trying to find stories. I mean, that's their job, right?
Yeah,
to create sensation. So I think the players understand it, and they also understand the game's a media play, and I think it just doesn't bother them at all.
Okay, I'm not mad at that take. It's all good. Well. For everybody watching, this is episode 59. Let them know again what time it is, how they can find you online.
Man, Shot Eats on all platforms. I do food content. I work in the movie industry as well. Do sports podcasts. You can just find all my content at Shot Eats on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Check your boy out. Like, share, follow. And just, don't be afraid to holler at your boy.
That's right. And speaking of hollering, tap in with your boy Mack B as well at Mack B, MACK, B as in boy, _ at Sports Hop Media, all one word, Sports Hop Media. We appreciate the love. We building and growing.
Real quick, go Packers. Go Pack Go. See y'all.
Episode 59 is in the books. Holla. Thanks for watching Sports Hop. For all the latest news on hip hop and sports, subscribe here and keep it locked. It's your boy Mack B.